It's not uncommon to find yourself in a situation where you'd want to test a starter motor. Maybe you aren't sure that the starter motor is bad, or you want to test it before you put a new one in. Anyway, what I have here are two more modern starter motors. You can tell that because they have the solenoid actually mounted on the starter, whereas like older cars would have the solenoid mounted under the hood somewhere. These particular starters, this one here is from a Ford Ranger, little 4-cylinder guy, and this one here is from a Ford 5.0 Coyote V8 F-150. But I just happen to have two Ford starters here, but pretty much all modern starters work this way. The beauty of this deal is you only need two tools to really test this. You need a 12-volt source that can be a battery with jumper cables, or in this case a jump box, and a crappy old screwdriver that you don't care about. To test it, the first thing I do is I take my starter over to the vise and I clamp it down right on one of these ears so that I know that it's really well held and not going to jump around if it turns on. With the starter mounted up, you come to the end of the solenoid here, and they all have very similar connections. First of all, you'll notice this little cord right here, that's the ground for the actual solenoid to work, and it basically is connecting the case to this post right here. Next, you have the two positive connections right here. This is the main supply for the starter, positive connection as I said. And this right here is the trigger wire. So this one will always have 12 volts supplied to it, positive, the red in this instance. And this one, when you hit the key to actually turn it on and get it to crank, this will have 12 volts. So to get this starter to work, we need 12 volts here, 12 volts here, both positive right here. And then the case itself must be grounded. That must be your black. That'd be like the engine block on your car. So I'm going to take the negative clamp on my jump pack and ground that to the case of the starter. Next, I'm going to take the positive, and very carefully, because now if I touch this to anywhere on this case, it'll short out. I'm going to grab just on the end of this post. Now with my positive connection made, my case grounded, the only thing I need to do is connect this post to this smaller trigger post right here, and that's what I'm going to use the body of this screwdriver for. And you can see some marks right here from where I've done it a few times, but here we go, I'm going to do it again. And you don't want to short the body of the starter to either of these posts, or it'll spark up in your face. So here we go. I lay that down in there, and I'm just going to rock the screwdriver over till I touch the other one. Alright, well that's a pretty simple little diagnostic you can do on your end. If you have a starter that you're not sure about, just takes about 10 minutes and a little benchtop vise and a couple tools, and you can get yours tested out. Thanks for watching.